Welcome to all those tuned in today to my mini-series, Unusual Events. I'm here to represent today's episode, the January fires. But in the meanwhile, make sure you both like and subscribe onto the channel for more content and video update notifications here on the Magic House channel. Okay, so to start off with today's episode, I will be taking us back to the early month of January 2022, where two of the nation's most populous cities on the East Coast, New York City and Philadelphia, had two of the most deadliest apartment fires in decades. So to start off with today's episode, I will be taking us back to the early month of January 2022, where a Philadelphia Housing Authority apartment goes up in flames, and marking Philadelphia's most deadliest fires in a century.
NBC 10 breaking news.
Losing so many kids is just devastating.
Tragedy in Fairmount. A fire kills 13 people, including 7 children.
Just punch you in the gut.
The row home had smoke detectors, so why didn't they go off?
It's just shocking.
What we're learning about what the mayor calls one of the most tragic days in Philly history. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm Jacqueline London.
And I'm Jim Rosenfield, live in Fairmount, right at the scene of today's devastating tragedy. This is still a very active scene out here. The home in question just a block behind me. And there are still so many questions as we come on the air here at 4 o'clock this afternoon after this morning's fire. Now, NBC 10 has some new information about what investigators believe may have happened. But right now, well, let's walk you through what we do know for certain. As we said, at least 13 people, including 7 children, died in this quick-moving fire. Now, these numbers, we're told by officials, are fluid. The numbers, again, could change as we move through the evening. Officials say there were 26 people, we know that, crowded into this duplex, 2 apartments, when the fire broke out. The building, it is owned by the city's Public Housing Authority. Our partners at KYW News Radio, they spoke to a woman whose 2 sons made it out of that burning building this morning. Take a listen.
I just want to know what happened. I wasn't home. I was out of town. And my daughter called me and told me it was a fire. And she was crying and scared.
I'm thankful that my family was able to make it out with the minor, burns that they had. On the other hand, it sickens me that all them other kids had to lose their lives.
We want to give you an idea of exactly where we are, where this all is happening. This fire started this morning on the 800 block of North 23rd Street. That's just south of Girard College, several blocks north of Eastern State Penitentiary, so you get oriented there. This, as we said, is still a very active scene. We've just been told that the grim task of removing the bodies from the home behind me is underway. NBC 10 has a team of reporters covering all the angles of the investigation into what happened. Also more about the victims lost in this fire. Let's begin with Johnny Archer. He has been out here on the scene all day, and he's here with me as well with the latest. Johnny?
Yeah, Jim, just a terrible scene out here in the Fairmount section of Philadelphia. Firefighters were able to put that fire out in about an hour, around 7:30 this morning. But as you can see behind me, it's still a very active scene on the street here behind me. Investigators obviously looking into how and why this fire happened, but also looking into why so many people were in a home with no working smoke detectors.
This is, without a doubt, one of the most tragic days in our city's history.
An early morning fire in Philadelphia's Fairmount section kills 13 people Wednesday. Fire officials say 7 of them were kids.
It's a sad, sad day for both the Philadelphia Fire Department and the citizens of the city of Philadelphia.
Cell phone video captured the fire ripping through a 3-story duplex at 23rd and Poplar Streets near the Philadelphia Art Museum around 6:30 in the morning.
The only thing that was slowing that fire down from moving was nothing slowing that fire down from moving.
Officials say 26 people total lived in the units. Several people were able to escape, and 2 people, including a child, were taken to the hospital for treatment. Fire officials say no smoke detectors were working in the home that is owned by the Philadelphia Housing Authority. A representative with the agency says they inspected the home last May.
And at that time, we had 6 smoke detectors and 3 carbon monoxide working. And we actually had to replace 2 batteries and 2 smoke detectors were all replaced.
The Housing Authority did not know why so many people were in the house, but a family member of the victims says they were all his cousins, and some of them were just visiting. The family completely devastated by the sudden loss.
Now I feel broken, you know what I'm saying? I feel broken, I feel shattered, I feel very depressed, and I feel like I let myself down, you know what I'm saying? I'm hurt right now.
Just a heartbreaking situation for that entire family. Now, not only is the fire department investigating this case, but they're also assisted by the ATF and fire marshal as well. Now, several investigative sources tell NBC 10 that a child living inside that house told them the Christmas tree caught fire, and that child ran out of the house for safety. We're live in Fairmount. Johnny Archer, NBC 10 News.
Yeah, devastating there, Johnny. And of course, we'll keep an eye on any developments as to what may have started the fire, but that's information we're following. Very difficult to comprehend the scale of this tragedy. You know, it's one thing to tell you the numbers, but when you think of how many lives, young lives particularly, that were lost this morning, it's understandable that this community is just left devastated. You can see it on their faces as you walk down these streets. NBC 10's Brian Sheehan spoke to witnesses who are still coming to grips with what they saw today.
Yeah, Jim, this is a devastating loss for a lot of people, but especially those who live in the Fairmount neighborhood of Philadelphia. It's a very tight-knit community, and people were coming all day long, hours after we first got news that something happened here very early this morning. The people tell us they are resilient, even though they soon won't forget those 13 people who died here early this morning.
An unimaginable loss of life.
My heart hurts for their family. You know, it's a tragedy.
Neighbors are stunned after 13 people, including 7 children, were killed in an early morning fire in Fairmount Wednesday.
You can't comprehend that.
Laurie Roma shot this cell phone video moments after she was awoken by the sound of screams and a neighbor down below yelling she couldn't get through to 911.
I then tried calling 911 and also could not get through. I tried a non-emergency number on the fire department website, and they told me to call 911.
Roma says while she and others rushed out into the dark cold, watching helplessly, some instantly sprang into action.
There were a lot of neighbors standing. Someone, I don't know who, but a neighbor ran down the street with their own ladder to help.
While the flames are long gone, there's no doubt the effects of what happened here are seared in her memory.
I said to someone earlier today, I'm just hearing the screams over and over again.
But Roma says the resiliency of this tight-knit neighborhood she and others, like Susan Cosby, call home, is what'll help them get past this tragedy.
It's the kind of street I often say, you know, I think if something happened, people would be there to help.
I'm going to pray for that family. You know, all them kids and the adults that died, it hurts.
Yeah, a lot of people will be thinking and praying about those lives that were lost here this morning. A vigil is taking place. It's a virtual vigil. That is at 6 o'clock this evening. We're live in Fairmount. I'm Brian Sheehan, NBC 10 News.
And that last man really summed it up, saying it hurts. We can understand that for sure. Brian, thank you.
Certainly.
Word of this fire, it has spread across the country, and tonight the First Lady is reacting to the tragedy. She tweeted, "My heart is with the families and loved ones of the victims of this tragic fire in Philadelphia." Now, of course, Jill Biden is from this area. She grew up in Montgomery County, and she and the president now call Delaware home. Again, a very active scene here this evening as we're getting ready for the sun to set. We had gotten word just moments ago that the task of removing those bodies is underway from that home a block behind me. And again, we should say that the numbers of dead, that's a fluid situation, and it could change as investigators comb through that scene and remove the bodies this evening. Our team of reporters, they're going to be here on the scene with me, gathering the latest information over the next 3 hours. And coming up at 4:30, the NBC 10 investigators are looking into why the smoke detectors did not go off this morning. And of course, you can get breaking updates anytime on our free NBC 10 app. That's the latest now from here at the scene. I'm going to send it back to my colleague Jacqueline London in our studios. Jackie.
And you say the number of victims is fluid as they get ready to enter that row home. We certainly hope the number of victims does not increase. Jim Rosenfield, thank you. We'll see you later in this newscast.
NBC.
And then on January 9th, 2022, would mark another deadly city fire day, ranging from the 3rd floor level on to the 4th floor level inside of the duplex apartment of Twin Parks Northwest at 333 East 181st Street in the Fordham Heights neighborhood of the West Bronx.
At least 17 people have died after the deadliest fire in New York City in decades tore through a Bronx apartment building on Sunday. 8 of those killed were children. Officials expect the death toll to rise as dozens are injured and 15 are still in critical condition after unprecedented levels of smoke, the city fire commissioner said. One resident spoke with reporters about the scene last night.
These is kids I grew up with. I'm young. These is kids like, don't make no sense. These is kids we grew up with, kids I went to school with. It was just scary. It was scary. I was more worried about my family than myself.
The fire has also devastated a tight-knit community of West African immigrants who call the Twin Parks apartment building home.
Most of the people there are African, West Africans, and majority of them from Gambia, West Africa, some from Guinea, but the majority of them are from Gambia. You know, these are very, very strong people. These are people that will never lose hope or never lose faith, no matter how painful it is. And this is hugely painful, but it is the revisitation to tragedy after tragedy that we are unfortunately are coming to be familiar with. It happened so many times.
City officials said a malfunctioning space heater that may have been left on for days caused the fire. But not all of New York City's fire safety mandates implemented over the last 25 years have been applied to Twin Parks. Built as affordable housing in 1972, the building did not have sprinklers in most areas, and it had no fire escapes. The requirement for self-closing doors did apply to the building, but the city's fire commissioner said 2 doors did not automatically close during the blaze. This incident comes just 4 days after another fire in Philadelphia devastated a black family living in an overcrowded public housing unit while they lacked affordable options to move. 12 people, including 8 children, were killed. They, too, lacked fire escapes and had 4 broken smoke detectors, according to City Fire Department. These horrors are repeated on a national level. According to the National Fire Protection Association, poverty was a key factor among those killed in fires between 2015 and 2019. African Americans were the second most impacted demographic after Native Americans. Joining me now to discuss, Jumaane Williams, public advocate for New York City and candidate for governor of New York.
Okay, so whether or not it's being the FDNY saying it's a malfunctioning in the space heater, or Philadelphia investigators giving out reports that the fire was caused by a Christmas tree spark, or it's the PHA stating that the whole buildings didn't have smoke detectors because they weren't working. But way back in May, inspections show they were working. Or it's the Twin Park West North Apartments claiming that not all New York City's safety mandates of the last 25 years or implemented on its building. Or whether it's Twin Parks without fire escapes and sprinklers, or it's that Fairmount multi-unit apartment without smoke detectors, or it's on the 800 block North Fairmount, or it's Twin Parks West North Apartment, 333 East and 181st Street, or it's 8 children dead in Philly or 9 children ending up dead in New York City. Something strange and unusual had happened in between those past 4 days. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Make sure you like and subscribe onto the channel, and until the next video, God bless.